in a battle of drones, a battle in the skies, where India was intercepting through our air defense system Pakistani drones that we now know to be 500 drones. 500 drones and drone intrusions were attempted at 36 locations. So that is the scale of what was unfolding last night. The debris of those drones has fallen, and it's been captured on camera. Some of the drones were not armed, and many others were simply brought down by India. So a strong response there in the official briefing, but it's unclear where we go from here. Let me introduce our guests on the program today as we try and decode what has happened and what may happen from here. I'm joined by Lieutenant General Rameshwar Roy, military veteran. Good to see you, General, on the program. Kushal Mehra is back with us, podcast host, strategic affairs analyst. Good to see you again, Kushal. Yashovardhan Azad is back with us as well, who's been, of course, a special director at the Intelligence Bureau as well as a senior IPS officer. I want to play straight away, without any delay, the statement made by Wing Commander Vyomika Singh of the Indian Air Force on what happened through the night last night. Take a look.
Good afternoon to you all. On the intervening night of 8-9 May 2025, Pakistan military carried out multiple violations of Indian airspace along the entire western border with an intent to target military infrastructure. Pakistan military also resorted to firing of heavy caliber weapons along the line of control. Along the international border and line of control, drone intrusions were attempted from Leh to Sar Creek at 36 locations with approximately 300 to 400 drones. Indian Armed Forces brought down a number of these drones using kinetic and non-kinetic means. The possible purpose of these large-scale aerial intrusions were to test the AD systems and gather intelligence. Forensic examination of debris is being undertaken. Preliminary reports suggest them to be of Aziz Guard Songa drone of Turkey. Later in the night, an armed UAV of Pakistan attempted to target Bhatinda military station, which was detected and neutralized. In response to the Pakistani attack, armed drones were launched at 4 air defense sites in Pakistan. One of the drones was able to destroy an AD radar. Pakistan also carried out artillery shelling across the line of control using heavy caliber artillery guns and armed drones at Kandhar, Uri, Poonch, Mendhar, Rajouri, Akhnur, and Udhampur in Jammu and Kashmir area, which resulted in some losses and injuries to Indian Army personnel. Pakistan Army also suffered major losses in Indian retaliatory fire. Additionally, Pakistan's irresponsible behavior again came to fore. Pakistan did not close its civil airspace despite it launching a failed unprovoked drone and missile attack on 7th May at 8:30 hours in the evening. Pakistan is using civil airliners as a shield, knowing fully well that its attack on India would elicit a swift air defense response. This is not safe for the unsuspecting civil airliners, including the international flights, which were flying near IB between India and Pakistan. The screenshot we just showed and we shall share with you, it shows the data of the application Flight Radar 24 during a high air defense alert situation in the Punjab sector. As you have seen, the airspace on the Indian side is absolutely devoid of civil air traffic due to our declared closure. However, there are civil airlines flying the air route between Karachi and Lahore. Amongst the other civil aircraft that you can see, we have highlighted an aircraft which is Airbus 320 of Flynas Aviation, which was originated from Dammam at 1750 hours and landed later at Lahore at 2110 hours in the night. Indian Air Force demonstrated considerable restraint in its response, thus ensuring safety of international civil carriers.
It's the the big allegation there is that Pakistan has been using international civilian airlines as a shield against Indian retaliation. And that's a big charge, basically potentially endangering its own people as well as people from other parts of the world, not closing down the airspace, even knowing that Indian retaliation was ongoing. I found that a big charge, as well as the scale of the intrusions, drone intrusions at 36 different locations from Leh to Sir Creek, 500 drones. We have all of these details now. General Roy, your first thoughts. While it looks like a battle of the skies, while all of this is happening, there's also artillery shelling, mortar fire on the ground at the line of control and the international border. And the BSF today, in fact, released a very dramatic video where it showed how it had foiled a major infiltration bid, blowing up a Pakistani bunker that was providing covering fire to infiltrating terrorists. So these attempts to push in terrorists is still continuing. Your first comments on where we stand, General Roy.
Barkha, if I may just take a minute to go to the start point itself, because 7th May wasn't too far back. On 22nd April, when this incident took place in Pahalgam, we have responded to that incident in the form of a retribution just within about 2 weeks, which is a pretty short time to respond in the manner that we have. Now, if we go back the first briefing that the Foreign Secretary had, in which it was very clearly said that we have responded in a place, time of our choosing with a quantum that we thought is adequate in terms of 9 terrorist targets being hit with 24 very, very accurate missile drone combination systems. Now, after that, we had told very clearly the 5 big nations, that is US, Russia, Britain, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, that before this attack as well as immediately after this attack, the entire process lasting about 25 minutes, these nations were informed that, look, we have done our retribution that we wanted to, and we do not wish to go beyond this as of now, unless Pakistan does something, and therefore the onus of doing anything else and going up the escalatory ladder now lies with Pakistan. Pakistan, it appears, has not seen this message very clearly, or it did not want to go to that message. All it did was that it was showing the people who have died in those attacks on the terrorist targets. We are well aware that all these terrorists, they stay there with their families and children and all kinds of civilian population that stays with them. And that is what they are trying to show to the international community, that, look, we have caused civilian casualties. The fact of the matter is, if these were civilian casualties, why were they draped in a national flag of Pakistan? Why such a large attendance of the Vardidhari people were there in all these funerals, which pictures of which emerged in the social media and elsewhere? Therefore, what is trying to convey to the world is absolutely a lie. Now, thereafter, what it tried to do was, there are, when they want to carry out any equivalent target hitting in our country, we do not have equivalent of a terrorist targets here, because we have no terrorists being trained here in India, nor we have such a national policy for us. Therefore, their option was either they hit the counter value targets or they go in for the counter force targets. Now, we are well aware that if they hit at the counter value targets, those are the civilian targets. And if they're going for the counter force targets, those are the military targets. Unfortunately, they went in for military targets. And because of which the escalatory ladder has started moving up now. And that's the reason why when India responded, India also responded with the military targets. What they are trying to do now, belatedly, is that one way or the other, they want to internationalize this particular conflict in a manner that tomorrow, if some civilian aircrafts get shot due to this incident that you've been speaking of, that civil flights, or in the briefing, it was covered in today's briefing of the ministry, that these civilian aircrafts, if they get shot, the entire issue will blow into an international level, at an international level. And that is what Pakistan has always been trying to do. Therefore, now it is onus of internationalizing this issue in a way that they were trying to internationalize the terrorist issues also, is all with them. Let's see how it shapes up, but definitely I am certain that we are going to respond to all their actions with very heavily guarded. When I say guarded, means protecting ourselves and then causing maximum damage to their infrastructure and in times to come.
Right. Let me bring in, I want to welcome Wing Commander Bakshi to the program, but let me bring in Yashovardhan Azad for immediate responses. I think General Roy makes the important point that when Operation Sindoor started, the emphasis was on the fact that only terror bases will be targeted and civilian areas and military installations would be, were avoided. That phase of the conflict is over. We now know from the briefing today that India deployed armed drones at 4 different locations. We also know on record officially that the Bhatinda military station was targeted. These are the details that have been placed on record. In the escalatory ladder, we're quite high, aren't we? Yeah, sure.
We have moved up from the military preparedness and I would say something near the limited war, where we are seeing the confrontation at this particular stage. And I think the escalation has been noticeable. It was also regrettable because obviously we expected the retaliation from the Pakistani side, but to have immediately engaged in, this volume of traffic of 500 drones in 36 locations is a clear invitation that they want something higher up on the escalator ladder. But, in military terms, as we call the escalatory dominance, we are certainly there and we have given the right riposte so far. And I would also say that I would really appreciate the way in which we have gone about things, the way we are giving daily briefings, we are clarifying for everybody. For example, yesterday we were discussing about relocating a pilot and he's in our custody. Foreign Ministry did not say anything about it. Vikram Misri didn't say anything about it. So I'm glad that the things are absolutely the right perspective. But today night, I think, is going to be extremely important as to what kind of replies we get from Pakistan. And in war, unfortunately, the lines are blurred. We haven't yet reached there. But Pakistan is certainly trying to give this impression. Please remember, there's an IMF bailout also package, which they have got $7 billion approved. And India is going to oppose it very strongly through our executive director, which is very important. And I'm extremely happy. My last point is that with the kind of equipment that we have bought, whether it is the S-400, which we got from the Russians, is doing brilliantly against the Turkish and Chinese drones which they are using, and also the Rafales, which really gave out precision strikes with their Harpy missiles and guided hammer bombs. So at this stage, we are absolutely okay, in a very firm position. And now we are just waiting for Pakistan to see what replies we can give.
So in a way, you're saying that Pakistan determines how high we go on this ladder. But at the moment, after what we've seen in the last 2 days, we've moved closer to the possibility, I want to use my words carefully, to the possibility of limited war, unless they take the off-ramp. And we'll get to that in a moment. I want to also play out Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri's statement on the deliberate targeting. That's what he said, of places of worship. One, he said it was absolute rubbish. He wanted to bust the fake news that Indian air defense systems had targeted Nankana Sahib in any way. He said that's absolute rubbish. He called out this narrative that the mosques were deliberately targeted, asserting that only where terrorists were using them as some sort of shield could there have been a mosque for that reason and not by design. And he said it is Pakistan that was actually targeting places of worship in its artillery shelling, in particular, in the area of Poonch, not far from where I am right now. Take a look.
Thank you, Colonel Qureshi, Wing Commander Singh. I have just a few points to share in addition. कल रात की पाकिस्तानी सेना की कायरतापूर्ण गतिविधियों से आपको कर्नल कुरैशी और विंग कमांडर सिंह ने पहले ही अवगत करा दिया है. These provocative and escalatory actions that were taken by Pakistan last night were targeted at Indian cities and civilian infrastructure, in addition to some military targets. The Indian armed forces responded proportionately, adequately, and responsibly. ये जो हमले हुए कल रात को भारतीय सैन्य इकाइयों ने पर्याप्त रूप से और एक जिम्मेदाराना रुख अपनाते हुए इन हरकतों का उत्तर दिया. What I want to underline is that the official and blatantly farcical denial of these attacks that Pakistan carried out by the Pakistani state machinery is yet another example of their duplicity and the new depths that they are plumbing in their quest for disinformation. The other point in the same vein is Pakistani claims that they did not target or attack any religious places. You would recall that yesterday I shared with you an incident related to the attack on a Gurdwara in Punch. Instead of owning up to these attacks, Pakistan made the preposterous and outrageous claim that it was the Indian armed forces and the Indian Air Force that was targeting cities like Amritsar and trying to put the blame on Pakistan. This is nothing but a desperate attempt by Pakistan to disown its acts of aggression, but it is also true to type in its effort to deceive and mislead the world. It will not succeed. The Gurdwara in Punch in particular was attacked by Pakistan, and some local members of the Sikh community, including a Ragi of the Gurdwara, lost their lives in this incident.
And those are the images on the screen of the Gurdwara that was targeted in Poonch. That is what remains of that Gurdwara. And later on, he went on to say in that briefing that there was also a Christian school that was targeted. Let me get comments now from Wing Commander and Kushal. Wing Commander Bakshi, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Barkha. And this is a very, very crucial point, what we're discussing. Now, we are discussing that aspect of international humanitarian law, which we call the laws of war. And India has signed in 1951 these Geneva Conventions, ratified in 51 and ratified in 61. It means all the armed forces are supposed to follow these norms. Attacking protected places, especially the religious places, churches, museums, all these things come in, then we don't have to attack them for military gains. But if we attack them for military gains, we have to prove that they are hiding some military equipment out there. Here it was nothing. Gurdwara, we had nothing, no military target out there. If Pakistan has attacked the Gurdwara, there are observers from the International Committee of Red Cross who should be approached. I hope the ICRC is observing it. We have ICRC headquarters in India also. But we have to be aware of that. Reprisals, again, another thing which is being violated. Reprisal is that even if they attack our civilians, we will never attack their civilians. This aspect of reprisal, we are following it to the hilt. But Pakistanis, well, we can't even say Pakistanis because they are the terrorists. They will claim they are non-state actors and the war is not declared. So Geneva Conventions are not applied. All these things will go on. So there is no checks on these forces which get into this fault. How do we do it? Is that we carry out our major operations as possible, as by the book which we have, and we only leave it to the International Criminal Court, or later on, Pakistan can be asked. If it is proven that Pakistan Army is at the head of the terrorist organization, and or that will take very long. The Iraq war cases are still going on, humanitarian law violations. So I think, but the step is only this. We have to follow this, and we cannot do anything more to these terrorists.
So in other words,
just
short of annihilating them.
Yes, that's all.
So am I hearing you saying
we have to annihilate the terrorist? That's what I'm saying.
I got that. I got
Right.
that. And from there, I'm asking you that I guess it is your submission then that there should be at this point no off-ramp, no de-escalation. This is not the moment for that.
Listen, Barkha, it all depends. What do you want? What are your political compulsions? What are your threats? If you're scared of the threat, if you're scared of China will intervene or Bangladesh will intervene, things can turn out to be different. I leave it to the politician. But as far as the rule position is concerned, I'm clear. And as for the requirement of country, I'm very clear that they have to be eliminated now. They are on the run and we have to do it. Right from the sleeper cells in Kashmir to POK and adjoining areas from where they are being launched. We not only
Wing
have
Commander.
to attack them, we have to occupy that area.
I just want to, sorry, sir, I just want to add some information on this religious, how this is impacting places of worship in Punjab. Please remember that I've just driven from Amritsar to Jammu, and we now know that Punjab has been a major target. An attempt was made to target the Bathinda military station, and I've always believed that because Operation Sindoor hit Pakistan in their Punjab, they have eyes on our Punjab. The Golden Temple, by the way, as part of the blackout, which is precautionary, went black for the first time in history. But the manager, we're getting comments from Taran Taran saying, given the heightened tensions between India and Pakistan, members of the SGPC have visited villages, and after the consent of the Granthis of the Gurdwara, the holy Sarups of Shri Guru Granth Sahib are being shifted to safer locations. So, people are taking, there is some sense that there could be religious targeting, and I wanted to update that. Kushal, you want to come in on that? And I think I can see Yasha also wanting to react there. Kushal, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Good evening to everyone else. Barkha, can we now at least confirm that what I had told you yesterday, not in the late night stream, but the one before that, in the early times when I think some ambassador was also a part of the discussion, and I had clearly said, why are they trying to target our religious locations? And then
Ambassador Puri was there.
Ambassador Puri ne mere ko bola tha, we should not talk about it. Yaar, aaj khud sarkar bol rahi hai, they are targeting our religious places. At least, we knew they were trying to do that. It's disgusting. See, Barkha, the whole problem in this is, and I want to ask the other panelists also, how do you deal with a person who has no ethics on the other side? Like, how do you deal with an unethical person? Barkha, last night Tushar was sharing those images, you remember? What the hell is happening in the Pakistani airspace? What the hell is happening in the Pakistani airspace? Now we know they were using civilian aircrafts as a shield. Yeah, how do you deal with a person who has no ethics? This is like a game theoretical nightmare. Like, hum bolenge ki 1 + 1 = 2. Wo bolega chhado hai, aate 3 hai. Like, how do you deal with a person? And if we try to follow the rules with these guys, I can guarantee you one thing. See, I'm a political analyst. I just look at it from a political ops perspective. The government of the day, irrespective of who it is going to lose until they don't visibly rub Pakistan's nose on the ground. ऐसे मुंह लेके ऐसे घस घस के और उसके बाद उसकी फोटो लेके पूरी दुनिया में डालोगे नहीं, कोई सरकार इसमें से विक्टोरियस ही नहीं आने वाली है. मुझे इतना मालूम है, बाकी जिसको जो करना है कर ले. मेरे हाथ में तो पावर है नहीं सानू की.
Yasha, you want to come in on that? I know Kushal feels very strongly, and I'll tell you the context. Kushal was saying yesterday that, look, Amritsar means a deliberate targeting. Amritsar means a deliberate targeting of a place. Sorry, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yasha, go ahead. I'm just going to reconnect. Go ahead.
Yeah. You see, the kind of massacre which took place at Baisaran and the way people were chosen out from on religious lines, we were expecting this action from Pakistani to communalize the incident. And this targeting of gurdwaras or targeting of these churches have been certainly a very, very new low. The question is, and I'm very happy when Wing Commander said that, they might be doing anything, but we follow the rules and we will never attack civilians. In fact, that should be the motto. But as very rightly said also, if the places like Bawalkot, if the places like Muridke or Sialkot have, terrorist families and they are hidden there, and can you imagine that the main crook, that murderer Maulana of Jaish-e-Mohammed, he runs away to Abbottabad and leaves his entire family over there. This kind of a collateral damage was expected if you let your relatives come in the field of fire and you yourself escape. At this particular point of time, the intelligence agencies, and that point you mentioned was very, very important, heavy firing at the LOC, trying to give cover. In fact, 7 terrorists were killed in Samba just the other day. Attempts are being made. The intelligence is on an absolute alert in every district of the country, trying to ferret out any of their sleeper cells or other people. In fact, this task is extremely important. But ultimately, I think tonight is the night when we are going to see the kind of, rustling up of their, whether Chinese harpoons or Chinese and Turkish they throw at us. And that will define the future of the cause, whether we'll remain in between the escalatory ladder of military preparedness and limited war, or they want to escalate it further. But as I said earlier, in the terms of military terms of escalatory dominance, I think we are quite there and excellent.
I want to play out what our High Commissioner to the United Kingdom said on Sky News today. But before that, General Roy, a quick comment from you, sir.
So there
Could
is
be
a
unmuted.
person who,
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
if there is a person who is not following any ethics, any ethical code, or a person is not following any of the international convention and the laws, the only way to deal with that person is simply destroy that person along with its unethical practices. And in that sense, if you really look at it, the 3 core issues were, I'm saying the three outfits, the Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Hizbul Mujahideen. Those were the camps that we had struck on 7th of May. And not once a single word has come from Pakistan regarding any of the 3 outfits. What does it say?
That's right.
What does it say? If Pakistan is willing to put its entire nation at stake for the reason or for the core issue of these 3 terrorist outfits that it has been nurturing for last over 3 decades, I think such a nation is looking at not beyond the nose. And it might just happen. I mean, it's being spoken in military circles that after all, game has just about started and is not going to end so soon. Why it will not so soon? Because Pakistan, like an obstinate child, has never accepted this fact that all these terrorist outfits, despite absolute clear proof of everything, it has not even accepted until today that all these outfits are based there, they are trading there, they are getting arms there, they are being pushed from there. And because of this, if the nation is trying to put its own existence at stake for the reasons of these 3 outfits or the ragtag terrorists, I don't think that this is any kind of a issue or any kind of a thing that one has to even give it very serious thought, because I am very certain that this time things are just about starting and we have a long way to go. We have not even reached half the ladder that we are talking of, escalating ladder. And I'm very certain that this time it will be the end of this nation if it doesn't give up the kind of a policy. Even Gaddafi tried it very in the early days. Where is he now? So these people refuse to learn lessons from history itself.
Okay, Kushal and then Wing Commander, and then I do have to play out the High Commissioner's script. Yeah, Kushal.
More than a comment, I had a question for anybody. See, because the one thing I know is some things are beyond my pay grade and expertise. And these guys are far more, capable. So, I would like to take this opportunity to understand. At the end of the day, from a an average civilian's perspective, I know why 1971 mattered so much is I again bring you back to the imagery. जब हमने उनके साथ फोटो निकाली, उनके सोल्जर रोके, उसे बोलते हैं नाक जमीन पे रगड़ना. Do you honestly, all 3 of you, you know much more than me, and I know half of the things you can't say for obvious reasons. But the point is, क्या आपको लग रहा है हम उनकी नाक जमीन पे रगड़ रहे हैं? Because clearly आज के प्रेशर से मुझे लगता है we are trying to give them an off ramp. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Please don't misunderstand me.
I,
I'm
I,
saying
I
we're
have to
trying to
say,
give them
I
an
have to
off-ramp.
say that was, I have to say that was my reading too. I found that the tone of the presser was firm, but I don't know if the word is softer.
And I'm
I don't
sorry
know.
to ask this uncomfortable question if somebody thinks it is a
Yeah.
bad question. I'm sorry in
All
advance.
right. Everybody wants to answer. General Roy, Wing
Yes.
Commander Yash. General Roy, I'll start with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very relevant question, and Barkha, let me tell you that if we don't do it now, we can never do it ever. Because right now, the Pakistan is at its lowest point in everything that you can think of. It's a country which has economy in ruins. It has a country which has got its security in ruins. Look at Baluchistan, look at Fata region, look at Taliban across the Durand line. And if Pakistan is not put into the same situation as it was in 1971, and we don't do it now, we can never do it. And I'm emphatically saying this again and again. And to my mind, even the brief that was given by the Foreign Secretary yesterday, morning hours, I think that was very clear and emphatic. Look, we have had a measured response until now. And after this, whatever Pakistan does, it is trying to go up the escalatory ladder. The onus is on him, not on us. And that's one reason why those 5 nations were informed. Why those 5 nations? Because those are the ones which probably are in a position to do something if at all they want to. And indications have already come. They want to do nothing. All they want to say is that, okay, it's a free hand to India, do what you like. And therefore, I'm saying once again for the 3rd time, emphasizing the same issue, that if we don't do it now, this time will never come again.
Okay, but I think Kushal has raised an interesting point about off-ramp, and is India allowing for that? And I should say that India's official position has been that we are, even yesterday, after neutralizing the air defense system in Lahore and targeting them in their air defense systems in Karachi, Sialkot, and Rawalpindi, the statement still ended by saying that we are non-escalatory. So India has said this from the first day. Kushal feels there's a shift in tone. Quick responses, Wing Commander and Yash. Yeah, Wing Commander. Can we unmute Wing Commander Bakshi, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll just clarify the last point, which I was clarifying. When you have these terrorists and non-state actors carrying out relentlessly, inhumanly, nothing stops your military to eliminate them. You see, if they don't meet the definition of a civilian, they are no more civilian. If they're carrying arms, they're not civilian. Geneva Convention 3 doesn't protect them. You are well within your rights to eliminate them. Nobody stops you. But provided you have the political will to do that. That is what I was trying to tell. That we have to do it. And army has given a free hand that if a Granthi or a Pandit or a Maulvi is acting in a military manner, he has to be killed. Because he is eliminated, he is now attacking you. It means he's no more a civilian, he's an enemy. So that is why we should be very clear. I teach this subject and I tell army this. A lot of doubts come up, but I clarify it absolutely. You are well within your rights to eliminate it. So that is that. And now, why when we are talking in terms of the future, Indian army is not pussyfooting. They are absolutely clear. But only thing, their objective should be very clear. Should we straight away attack Pakistan, or first take POK?
Okay. So the army, the military rather, has to take its instructions from the government. We are not Pakistan, and therefore this will be a political decision. Yasho, quick comment there. Yasho.
Remember, Barkha, that the civilian authorities' main objective is to crush the terrorism, and that means hit the snake pit. We have done that. Now what has happened is all these top leaders, these Maulanas, they have escaped and they've gone into residential areas. Our objective is achieved. Our objective is that if you engage in any kind of activity, which hit you back with the same. His nose has been completely rubbed. Now, our position should be that we will not spare you if you try anything funny trying to extend. Pakistan is in a quandary because it doesn't have any reply to the hit on its terrorist bases. It cannot say our terrorist brothers have been hit and that is why we'll hit there, because there are no terrorist bases here. So they are trying to do this to get intelligence about our air defense systems and to get information about our military sites and to send missiles, for which we have rubbed their nose. Anything they escalate, we'll give it back to them. Beyond that, I still think we are a 7% rate of growth nation. That is a 2% rate of growth. We don't want war. It's going to hurt us more. We are not interested in Pakistan. It is not an issue to us. But we are interested in the Committee of Nations, where we are emerging very, very high. That's the difference.
So that's a very interesting point. Ignore Pakistan. I think India would love to, if it were not for terrorism. India would love to ignore Pakistan. It's right there. It shares a border. So, we are forced to take notice of it because of asymmetric warfare. Now, Kushal raised this point. Is there an off-ramp in the works? Even as General Roy, Wing Commander Bakshi are saying it's now or never. Yasho is saying you can't expend your energy. You're the energy of a nation on Pakistan. And Kushal is wondering, is there a shift in tone? India's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom appeared on Sky News with Yalda Hakim, who has been interviewing a number of Pakistani representatives with some tough questions. Here is what happened when he appeared on her show. Take a look.
Look, let me show you this photograph of yesterday, I believe it is, to your viewers. This person here is a sanctioned terrorist under the American sanctions regime. His name is Hafiz Abdur Rauf. He's the brother of the founder of the terrorist groups that you're mentioning. Look who's behind him, Pakistani military. Look at the coffins there. They have the Pakistani national flag. If you're going to be giving terrorists state funerals, what does that make of your system? And everybody knows that for the last 30 years, Pakistan has used this as a means of subcritical warfare against India. If the international community really wants to be able to look at this and worry about it, the simple solution is to tell Pakistan it has an opportunity for an off-ramp. These are things that the world should have compelled Pakistan to do 30 years ago, and to compel them to implement their promises about taking down this infrastructure. It has not done so. The logical solution would be, as we've said repeatedly, for Pakistan to take the opportunity of an off-ramp, which we have made abundantly clear, including this morning, that if Pakistan stops attacking our military facilities, the matter ends there. But it is for them to decide. Look, let me show you this photograph of...
Right. So that should answer your question. I think an off-ramp is on the table if Pakistan doesn't do anything further. It's quite evident. And this is, I think, the position from the first day. I don't necessarily see a contradiction, but I'll get reactions. Yeah, Yasho, I'll start with you, then Wing Commander, then General Roy, and then Kushal. Yasho?
I totally agree. That has been my position also, and has been confirmed by the authorities. The civilian authority has maintained it throughout, that we are not going to allow terrorism. Otherwise, we have no interest in Pakistan. We don't have any trade, we don't have any business, and they are nowhere in our scheme of things. As long as this is done with, and this is the best kind of crushing we have given them by attacking those bases. Beyond this, we reply. If they send anything, we give them a harder response. Otherwise, if they want to get off the off-ramp, we welcome that.
Let me bring in Wing Commander and then General Roy. Wing Commander Bakshi?
Barkha, what is the question in this? Where is the question?
Question is, the High Commissioner just said that
Yes.
there is an off-ramp if the Pakistani military is ready to take it. That was his exact statement. So you
Yes,
and
yes.
General Roy are saying it's a now or never. Now my question to you is, suppose Aaj ki Raat is a quiet Raat. I'm hypothesizing. I'm here in Jammu. Suppose nothing happens tonight, nothing happens tomorrow night. Do we say we've done what we had to with Operation Sindoor? We have shown capacity, resolve, and carry on? Or are you and General Roy, and I think Kushal, suggesting it can't end here? That's the question.
I'm telling you, Barkha, we'll be cheating ourselves. You cannot be ostrich. Have we eliminated the terrorists? First thing, let us start, and let be true to ourselves. The terrorism starts from sleeper cells, which are there in Jammu and Kashmir. Have we eliminated them? No, because army of Pakistan is depending upon these sleeper cells to launch their terrorists. And they are received with a VIP treatment. They are wined and dined and kept in their places. We have to put a stop to these sleeper cells. Until we do that, we have not done our homework. Then we come to where they are being launched. 15, 20 or 30 POK the bases where we destroy, strike them and occupy them. I have always said, until you occupy them, you are not doing your job, because now you start the ball rolling of occupying the entire POK and you stop there. Moment you occupy POK, you destroyed your terrorists, you are very happy. Now you wait for Pakistan to their move. If they want to fight, good enough. If they don't want to fight, we forget them.
Well, I just want to say before General Roy and Kushal come in that at this moment there is a violation ceasefire taking place at the line of control in Uri this time. It's been there across J&K, in Poonch particularly, but now in Uri, which is in Kashmir Valley. Let's play for you what's been happening in Uri. Take a look.
यस क्लाउड के बीच में आप जो देख रहे हैं ना धुआं अभी यहाँ पर गिरा जस्ट नाउ
Yeah, I was at that exact spot with my team. Like I would say 4 days ago. Those are the villages. The mountain range above Puri town, and this is what's happening now. So when we talk about deterrence, I think that's the point, Yasho, that Kushal is making. That are we then consigned to live with an adversary on our borders and live with the fact that from time to time there will be terror strikes, and we live with that? I don't know. I was going to come to General Roy. Wing Commander, I'm not suggesting we should. I'm just bemoaning, I'm lamenting, I'm expressing my frustration and anger. Wing Commander Bakshi, General Roy, Yasho, Kushal, I don't know how to start, in which order. I'll start with you, Wing Commander, briefly, then General Roy. Yes.
Thank you, Barkha. With this question, what this scene I've seen, let's open a doctrine and let us see what is written there. Are we very clear? Or what Rand Corporation said about us in 1995 is true? If we don't know what to do, we are at fault. It should be very clear. The local corps commander must have this clarification totally with him, that in this case, you are going to wipe it out or not. You get inside, stop that place, or the doctrine should be clear that Pakistan is not stopping this. You declare a war and continue the war. Where is that? But we have to be clear and politically and militarily clear on the doctrine. If we cannot fumble on the last minute and start having meetings, it should be down the line, like 62. Should we use Air Force or not? It should have been written.
Okay, let me. Yes.
Confusion.
Okay, General Roy, briefly, sir. We were in our last comments.
Yes,
so General Roy,
yes.
yeah.
Barkha, I'm aware we are running out of time. Let me tell you just one thing, that if we don't learn from history, history will repeat itself. And just take a leaf out of that history of 1971 when Bangladesh was created. You know, for Pakistan, losing half of its limb, East Pakistan, now today is Bangladesh, an independent nation, wasn't much of an issue. The capture of 93,000 prisoners by our nation, our armed forces, that was also not much of an issue. But J&K, that is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, remains an issue with them until today, since 1947-48. So if you go by this psyche of the nation called Pakistan, I don't think that they are going to forget this, or I don't think they are going to stop at this. If you want to destroy a plant, you have to destroy the roots. And if you don't destroy the roots, the plant will keep growing again and again and again. So my point here is that if I am reading it right now, we should be shaping the battlefield. And having shaped the battlefield, the punishment or the deterrence value of conventional war or conventional forces should be to the extent that Pakistan should get deterred. That if next time it happens, India will come back on us the same way. That means what Bakshi was trying to say, that we have to follow it with the policy issue. If we let them off the hook now, then we must have a declared policy that next time you do it, this will be our response. That could be acting as a deterrence, but then time only will see whether that acts as deterrence or not. Please remember, both the nations are nuclear, but that deterrence, has it stopped Kargil to happen? This is the same nation which refused even their soldiers to be taken back by them. So therefore, to understand Pakistan, we have to understand their psyche. And the psyche is on a self-destruction fuse. We have a system in our most of the weapon systems that if the missile doesn't hit its target and misses it and goes beyond the point, it will have a self-destruction fuse so that it doesn't cause any damage to a vulnerable target. In their case, they have put themselves on a self-destruction fuse just for the sake of emotional issue called POK. And this, we should not forget that this issue is with them since 47, 48. They have even forgotten their eastern Pakistan, which is today Bangladesh. Why can't we look at this?
So I think if you're going to look at all this, you have to sensitize the country that for those who want justice and are not from the military, you're entering a period of long conflict. And are we ready for that? There are different opinions even on this program. I want to, before we end, and give Kushal and Yasho quick last words. There is a chilling CCTV footage that actually shows how Pakistan is targeting civilian areas in Poonch. And you can see on this video, the moment of impact, it really is chilling. I want to just play it out once, and then quickly Kushal and Yasho will wrap this up. Take a look. Imagine the people who are living in those areas. Yasho, and then Kushal can close. Yasho.
First thing is no war. Push your covert action to the maximum. Let your intelligence agency ferret out all these Pakistani spies and the sleeper cells which are here. It's a very, very task. Rub their nose across the line when their missiles are coming. We've done brilliantly well by almost slamming everything, destroy their air defense systems and all that, but avoid entering that area because the losses will be more to us economically. Destroy them economically. Don't let them get the IMF bail package. Let the other, and many of the theories have been debunked that nuclear blackmail thing is gone now. I mean, Russia-Ukraine war is going on for about 3 years. In that respect, you can completely cripple Pakistan. Indus Waters Treaty is already held in abeyance. And after this strike, you can't, fish out all the terrorists because we need ready-made intelligence for that particular time to snuff them out. So wait for your time. If anything like that happens again, any terrorist coming this side, shoot them out again. And that is the way to go about.
Okay. Kushal, very quick closing comment.
Yes, so I don't agree on the economic cost bit. I sent you the study last night also. It's a very robust study done by Kotak. And I can corroborate it with other studies also. In fact, in the case of India, the economic cost is not as much as people assume is going to be. I mean, I don't understand war strategy. I understand economics, so I can speak on that. So I would disagree there. As far as this is concerned, you're dealing with a rogue state with no ethics, with no morals, with nothing. Basically, they have nothing. And we the problem is we try to rationalize our positions based on our morality. You're talking to a person who has no morality. So my humble submission is we should, I actually agree with Mr. Azad. The Indus Water Treaty should be permanently in abeyance. Screw them. We don't care. We should not even play an ICC match with them. Trust me, they care about men's cricket a lot. I remember Mr. Azad had gone with the tour cricketing team. मैं भूला नहीं हूँ सर, आप गए थे एक बार वो पाकिस्तान की एक पार्टी का था, मुझे याद है. So and you know, we should not play cricket with them because that hurts them a lot. We should make their life miserable in every way possible. But at the end of the day, Barkha, this is my last word. Politics is not just about cold, rational strategizing. Politics is also about public imaging. The BJP or any political party in this position, if they don't have the last word, they will have public problems. So I think they should be very cautious about that. And with a rogue state like Pakistan, your public image matters a lot. And I honestly believe giving them an off-ramp right now would be silly politically from our national interest.
Okay, I've got to close and leave it there, gentlemen. Sorry, General Roy, do you have your hand up? I was going to say thank you. Do you have a 10-seconder? Yeah. Could we have General Roy's mic up?
Pakistan, with its everything that it has or it doesn't have, including its economy, is not worried about their existence. India, with such a big country, with such economy and all kinds of things, we are worried about the cost. Come on. I mean, this is too much.
Yeah, sure. This is you, so you have to defend yourself. Yeah, sure.
5-seconder. Kushal is way beyond his pay grade. He's at a very high pay grade the way he speaks, and be careful in that particular area. What is happening tonight?
A soldier is with Kushal.
All right. It's going to be a critical night. The blackout is in force in Punjab. After about 8 o'clock, it starts here in Jammu. Also, I expect it to start. We'll have more updates, but for now, Vinka Manabakshi, General Roy, Yasho Azad, Kushal Mehra. Always a pleasure. Always learn so much from all of you. Take care and see you soon.
Thank you.
Good night.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo's Story and support independent, robust journalism.